Okay, hello everyone. Hope you're all doing well. This is a Bewarecast live from the Void, number 8. So we'll give it a minute just to make sure everybody that wants to join can join. How's everyone doing? Yeah, hi. So cool. We've got quite a few people in already. Colonel Tybork, hello. Let's see. Cool Mag Tem Joho, probably pronounced that incorrectly, but hello to you. Contingency, good to have you back. Colonel Tybork said hello. Peter Estrada, hello from Australia, hello. Muris, I've missed a couple of these, but made it this time. Yeah, no worries. Just whenever you can. I don't expect people to drop what they're doing to come and check out my streams. Just come along if you can. El Claudio, hello. Good to have you back. Yeah, so how's everyone been? You all had a good weekend? What you been up to? Let me know in the comments. I've been doing work stuff. Today I recorded the new video, which is coming out on Friday, the on-camera bits and the voiceover bits as well. So that's all done. I'll tell you what it's going to be about. It's going to be about what kind of dystopia would you rather live in, and it's weighing up the pros and cons of several different ones, like cyberpunk world, nuclear wasteland, and some other less talked about ones as well. So that's going to be an interesting video. I'm happy with what I got so far. There's going to be a lot of editing involved, so I'm going to be away a couple of days this week as well. I'm visiting family, so I'm going to have to cram all of the editing into one day, so not really looking forward to that, but hey ho, it's the way it goes sometimes. Ian, hello, good to have you. So yeah, come on guys, what you all been up to over the weekend? Tell me, let me know. Like I said, it's just been work stuff really, video stuff. Done a bit of reading here and there. El Claudio says I'm building a Cadian heavy weapons squad. Wow, that sounds intense. Is that in real life or in a video game? Cadian Heavy Weapons Squad. Cool. Yeah. That sounds like quite the undertaking. Oh, is it It's Warhammer? Okay. Yeah. I'm not really that familiar with Warhammer, to be honest. I know the very, very basics, the absolute, the bare bones stuff, but my knowledge of Warhammer is pretty pitiful, to be honest. Like, if you, like, I know, the real, the stuff everybody knows, I know, like the Space Marines, the Astartes, the Custodes, all that sort of thing, all that type of thing. But if you mention something even slightly, it may not even be obscure, to be honest, if you're into Warhammer, but to me that's obscure. Yeah, the Emperor contingency. Oscar, hello, good to have you. What's it say? My messages seem to fail. Testing. Yep, I've got that one. I don't know, if you're trying to send links or anything, they're not going to come through. I don't think that's something I can change, to be honest. That's more of just a YouTube thing. They don't like when you put links into comments to prevent spam, I suppose. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're giving it a few minutes, so we'll make a start. There's not really a topic for this stream. I think I might not do hard topics from now on because there's too much pressure to stay on topic, and my mind tends to wander quite a lot when I'm talking, and I'll end up straying a million miles away from what I'm supposed to be talking about, and that's probably ends up being a bit frustrating for people. So we'll just keep it loosey-goosey and just talk about whatever, really. So Oscar, you've just reminded me there by your message that I actually watched Outlander that you suggested last week. My fiance and we watched it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good. It's not a film that I'd even heard of before, which is strange because back in 2008 when that film came out, I was watching a lot of films like a lot of films. I told you last week about that time period in my life. I was working at that factory, and pretty much all I did when I wasn't there doing 12-hour shifts was I was at home. I was playing video games on the 360, lots of Gears of War, and basically drinking Green Goblin cider all the time. And and when I wasn't playing video games, I was watching films. I watched a lot of movies at that time, all new stuff. Really, whatever came out, I'd watch it. And 2008 was right in the middle of that time period. The sort of, well, not right in the middle, but it was firmly within the 2007 to sort of 2011 time period. About 4.5 years that I worked at that factory. And I watched all kinds of films back then, but I never, ever, ever heard of Outlander, even when it came out. I don't know if it's because it's a Jim Caviezel film. He's not exactly Hollywood's golden boy, is he? He's done, I mean, he's obviously, I'd heard of him because he did Passion of the Christ, and, well, that's the only film I know from back then. He's obviously been in lots of films. The most recent one was that Sound of Freedom film, and there was a bit of a campaign against him after that, so he's not exactly Mr. Popular in Hollywood. So that's probably why that film didn't get a lot of... I mean, it may have gotten promotion in the States, where it was, it's an American film, obviously. But I don't think it got any promotion here at all, so I'd never heard of it. But it's a really cool film, really interesting premise. Like I've said before, my two favourite topics when it comes to film, games, TV shows, generally, is the past and the future. And when the two meet, as they did in this film, you've got Vikings and an alien. So I guess the alien isn't from the future, but it's, yeah, you know what I'm getting at. It's kind of futuristic aliens, but that was a cool, a mashup of two different worlds, and it was surprised that there was some known people in it as well. I think it was John Hurt was in it, and Ron Perlman was in it too. So it's not like it was just a small scale thing. It's got some known people in it. But I really did like the film. It's kind of similar to, I don't know if you're all familiar with the story of Beowulf. It's an old Anglo-Saxon, mythological sort of tale. It's and you've got Grendel, there's like a monster sort of thing that's in that. And I saw some parallels, some parallels between that story and this film. Granted, this was Vikings, it was in the Norse, Scandinavia, rather than being in... But then again, Beowulf I think that was set in Denmark, I believe. So yeah, it's kind of... It was Anglo-Saxon written in England, but... Because that's where the Anglo-Saxons came from originally. It was sort of the Denmark-Germany border. So they hadn't been in England that long. So Denmark was still very much on the brain for them. It was like considered the motherland at that time, I suppose. Over 1,000 years ago. A bit different now. But anyway, yeah, good film. Thanks for the recommendation, Oscar. Any other recommendations? Send them to me. Send them to me, because always looking for new stuff to watch. Oscar says, is the nick that MIB the reason? I don't know. I'm not sure. Contingency says, honestly, since I've been the only guy asking about it, I think I'm one of the few Telescope fans out there, even though the piece of media isn't out yet, but I can't wait. It's nice to have at least one person who's looking forward to it. At least there's some interest for it, even if it's just one person. Even if I don't know if I'm going to sell it or just give it away. I mean, how many people are gonna buy it from little old me? Probably no one. So I think I may just end up giving it away, to be honest, and then maybe just doing an audiobook version on the channel and use the ad revenue to make some money from it that way. That's probably the better way to do it, to be honest. But I'm glad you're looking forward to it, Contingency. I'll keep you updated. I do want to get it out sooner rather than later. I don't want to keep you waiting forever. If I've actually got somebody anticipating it, then that's more motivation to get on with it and get it written. Oscar says, it is Mr. Q that was making it not land the message with the dot. No, it's not. It's nothing I'm doing. Oscar says, oh, so you came across that film from a YouTube short clip. I mean, that's, yeah, mind you, yeah, you probably found it more recently, actually, didn't you? Yeah, like I said, there was never any marketing for it or promotion or anything. Not that I can remember, anyway, back then. And I was watching a lot of films back then, so I would have probably spotted it if it was being advertised. And yeah, Oscar, thanks for the super chat. That's, you know, very, very kind of you. Oscar, bless him, he always sends a super chat on every stream. That's really, really nice of you. If anybody else does want to send a super chat, just hit that icon next to the chat box with the $sign in it. Every penny helps. Helps me keep the lights on around here. You know, helps keep the channel going. It's all very much appreciated. And also, if you want, the link to my Patreon is there in the pinned comment as well. If you want to become a patron, that helps as well. I'm trying to come up with ideas for things that I can have on the Patreon as exclusive stuff. It's just my time is just it's all so constrained at the moment, but I will get around to putting actual stuff on there to make it worth paying for. Let's see. Oscar says, I mean, Mr. Q with a dot between was making messages not land or come up. Maybe, yeah, if there was a dot accidentally put in between two words, then YouTube may have assumed it was like a link or something like that. So, yeah, that's probably what that was. Yeah, so something else that I got up to this weekend is I ordered, I don't know if any of you have heard about this, but there's an Event Horizon prequel comic that's come out. Event Horizon Dark Descent. IDW Comics have published this. I only knew about this because a YouTuber I watch called Mr. H Reviews made a video about it quite a few months ago, actually. So I'm glad I stumbled across that video because it meant I got to buy this. It's interesting because I really like Event Horizon, the film. It's very good film. Very, you know, one of them weird cult classics. I enjoy it, as silly as it is, you know. So it's going to be a 5-part series, I believe. And this first issue was it was quite good, you know. It's setting the stage. It's just introducing you to the characters from the infamous orgy scene from the first film. That's who it's, you know. So we're going to see what happened up to that point. We do meet Dr. Weir as well, who was played by Sam Neill in the film. But in the comic, he doesn't look anything like him. So I'm guessing they couldn't get the likeness for Sam Neill to use in the comic, but anyway, you know who it's supposed to be, who the, you know, this generic looking character represents. That's Dr. Weir, so that's quite cool. Yeah, like I said, it introduces the characters, so it's going to be a 5-issue lead up to that scene in the film. So that's going to be interesting to see how they get there. So yeah, if you like Event Horizon and you want to know you want to find out what happened leading up to it, start getting the comic. It comes out every month, I think. Let's see. Yeah, so it's oh yeah. Oscar pays in Norwegian kroner. He's a Colombian guy, lives in Romania, pays in Norwegian kroner. So I reckon he doesn't want to be tracked. No, I hope nobody's after you, Oscar. Yeah, it says I'm very curious about it. Failed at the start, but now it's popular. Oh, you mean Outlander? Yeah, I guess it's one of them that's probably going to pick up steam later on. because it was a good film. It was a good film. It was well shot. Good story. Pretty simple story, really, but it was well acted and everything. Like I said, it had recognisable people in it: Ron Perlman, John Hurt, Jim Caviezel, obviously. But, he's not exactly Hollywood's golden boy, so maybe that's why his films don't get much in the way of promotion. Oscar, you meant Event Horizon. It's... yes, that too. I think that was a bit of a box office... I don't know if it was a box office bomb when it came out. I don't think it was that successful. It's funny watching it. It seems like... you can definitely tell that it was chopped up and edited after the fact. Like they had a completed film that probably would have been quite different. But then they done some, the usual, done some reshoots and changed the story ever so slightly. But I think, I don't know if there's calls for the original cut to be released or something. I think that's, you get those movements, don't you, from people like release the original cut, the director's cut. I mean, if they did release that, I think it would make a killing, to be honest, because it's become a very popular film, several years after its release. People still talk about it. I mean, they're doing a prequel comic, so there's obviously interest still. They wouldn't do that if nobody was bothered about Event Horizon, if it was just some weird, forgotten about relic from the past. They wouldn't bother making that prequel series. So I reckon they could do a, the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray release and all that sort of thing. Get it on streaming as well. I think they'd probably make a good bit of money from that. Let's see. What's that, Oscar? Wow, you remember more about me than my ex-wife. It's because we chat every week, You're always on the stream, so getting to know you. Dale Snyder, hello, good to have you. Could the Arcadian monsters be canon to a Q encounter? What are the Arcadian monsters? I don't know. Arcadian monsters, what are they from? Enlighten me. Canon to a Q encounter. Probably, I don't know. Depends what they are, I suppose. You'll have to let me know what they are. I'll tell you what. Last week I was suggested by I think it was Clone Granny. He or she isn't on here at the moment, but checked out he or she was on the last stream and asked if I watched the X-Files. I think it was that user. And I started watching the X-Files. I'm about 6 episodes in. So who of you has watched the X-Files? I'm sure most of you have, because I think I was the outlier, somebody who hadn't really watched the X-Files. Like I said last week, it was always on in our house when I was a kid. My mum used to watch it. It was always on TV, but I never really paid attention to it. I was too young to understand it. But, man, it's really good. Seen some really weird stuff in it already. First episode's good. It's more about setting the scene, just introducing the characters and stuff. I think it's the 3rd episode where you've got that weird stretching mutant guy. He's like a genetic mutant, and he's been alive for over 100 years, and he kills people with his bare hands and then eats their livers and then hibernates for like 30 years or something like that. Really weird. And he's got these real creepy orange eyes, like the contact lenses that the actor's wearing. But man, that episode, if I'd seen that when I was a kid, that would have traumatized me, I think. Because that was creepy. That was a creepy episode. And such a weird idea as well. Like he stretches and he can fit through really small gaps, and he kind of crawls through people's vents, like ventilations in their like houses, and that's how he gets to them and kills them and eats their livers. It's so weird. It's a lot weirder. I knew there was going to be strange stuff in it. It's the X-Files. There's going to be some bizarre things in there. But that was way weirder than I thought. You know, especially that early on in this. It's like episode 3 or something. So maybe later on, if it was like season 7 or something, then yeah, you'd think they would go really, really out there with their ideas and their monster of the week. But yeah, for that to be in the 3rd episode, that was it's no wonder it became so popular so quickly, I guess. Yeah, really, really cool. And then the other stuff, it's been more like, you know, obviously the more standard stuff, the UFOs, things like that. Yeah, I'm about 6 episodes in, so I'll try and think about what the other things have been that I've seen so far. But that's the one that stood out to me. Very weird, very very cool though. Oscar, it doesn't exist anymore. I was at the Event Horizon director's original cut. That didn't surprise me, to be honest. I mean, it came out in 1997, and you know, that was still during the VHS days. There were no DVD. Well, I mean, I think DVDs were out in 1997, but they were they were brand new. Barely anybody had them, or a DVD player. Would have been prohibitively expensive. So there wouldn't have been any call for director's cuts of things. It would have just been the theatrical cut, that's on video, and then that's it. So it's a shame. It's a shame it's not locked away in some vault somewhere and they can just find it and release it. That would have been really, you know, that would be really cool to see, but hey ho. There might be some interviews out there where the director talks about what it was originally, but I don't know. I've not looked yet. Dale Snyder says Nicolas Cage movie Arcadia. Oh, I've not seen that. I've heard of it. I haven't seen that film yet. Yeah. Sorry, I've just lost my chat. Hang on. Come back. Yeah. Okay, there we are. Sorry about that. Yeah. I've not seen Arcadia yet. I've seen it. I mean, I've got an Amazon Fire TV stick, and for quite a while it was on there as like a promotional thing to watch. I've just not got around to watching it yet. What's it? I mean, it's got monsters in it. What's it about? I like Nicolas Cage, and I generally enjoy Nicolas Cage films. I like his overacting. I like his brand of craziness. Big fan of Nicolas Cage, so I will check that out at some point. I just haven't seen it yet. Contingency says he's like a genetic mutant. The Q are canon to X-Files confirmed. They could be. So what you're saying is that genetic mutant guy, he's a Q creation, but the only one on Earth at that point, I guess. Maybe the Q have been here for a long time, and they messed about with that one guy just as a lark. But they haven't got around to doing the rest of us yet. Maybe they disappear, and they'd been on Earth before, because they'd been to pick up some dinosaurs, hadn't they? And they took them to other planets, so they knew where Earth was, probably. So maybe they did do a little bit. Maybe they called in every so often just to do a little bit of genetic tampering and then disappear again. And then when we started going to other worlds, they thought, hey, these guys are getting too big for their boots. Let's do something about them. But yeah, maybe they are canon. Who knows? Dale Snyder, the monsters or aliens could be physiologically similar to captive humans bred in an interstellar current, belters. I see. Is that from Arcadia? Cool. Oscar, Roanoke Gaming can give tons of inspiration for ideas. I have seen his stuff before. He makes real good, real in-depth stuff, doesn't he? Like his videos are like, 40, 45 minutes, an hour long. I don't know how he does it, to be honest. I'm exhausted my video that's coming up on Friday is just over 14 minutes, and it's exhausting. So he must be younger than me. He's got the energy to do it. Or maybe I'm just lazy. Maybe. So yeah. So yeah, that's what my time has been comprised of recently, is making my video, reading this prequel comic to Event Horizon, watching a bit of X-Files, yeah, and just doing a bit of sort of general reading, really, a bit of non-fiction. That I ordered a couple of because I got paid from YouTube the other day, so I ordered a couple of 2000 AD. So if you're not familiar, in England, in Britain, we have a comic called 2000 AD. In America, you've got DC Comics, you've got Marvel, IDW, Image, Dark Horse, etc. Here we have 2000 AD, and you'll know one character from it, certainly, Judge Dredd. He originated in... Well, did he originate in 2000 AD, or was it one just before that? But the majority of his life has been spent in 2000 AD. So I ordered a couple of graphic novels. They're like collections of different stories. I tried to pick the weirdest ones I could so that I might be able to make some videos about them later on. One that I've been reading is called Armored Gideon, and I'll give you one line, the sort of elevator pitch for it. It's a giant robot built by flying whales to kill demons. That's what it's about. And there's another one that I've not started reading yet. It's called Tyranny Rex, and she basically Tyranny Rex. She's I think she's this sort of lizard woman, the last of her species, who used to be a nun, but now she's a mercenary. So, typical 2000 AD craziness, really. So I've been reading Armored Gideon, watching X-Files, like I said, and yeah, so it's pretty much what my past week has been comprised of. And also spending time with a fiance as well. Oscar says he does mostly focus on biology and 3 years younger. Alright, 3 years makes all the difference. When I was 33, I was a lot more energetic than I am now at 36. So, just wait until he gets to 36. We'll see if he's still making hour-long videos. First name, last name. Hello, love your work. Thank you. Very nice of you to come by. Good to have you. And thank you for the compliment. Contingency says, unrelated to everything, but I recently saw a video on the Z-Lee sequence timeline law, and boy, is humanity's history depressing. I ain't getting into detail, but boy, we end up in a horrible state. Yeah, I've heard of that. The Z-Lee sequence. Can't remember the guy's name, but I can picture his face. And I think is he a mathematician? The guy who wrote it? I believe, yeah, because I did a video a little while ago. It was about something like apocalyptic futures in science fiction or something like that. I can't quite remember. This was months ago, and I've got a bad memory. But I'm pretty sure the Z-Lee sequence was mentioned in there, alongside stuff like the works of Clark Ashton Smith and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've heard the Z-Lee sequence is quite... Stephen Baxter, that's it, yeah. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, I think he's like a mathematician or something. Or is he a physicist or something? He's an academic. So that's always interesting when you get works from, academics who don't try to not dumb things down, but they don't try and make things appeal to a mass audience. It's like that film I talked about in my most recent video, Primer, which ended up being about time travel. That was written by I think he was an engineer with a degree in mathematics. What was he called? Something Carruth. Can't remember his name. I'm bad with names. But yeah, all of the dialogue in that was extremely technical. It was all just jargon from start to finish, basically. And I was watching it, and I had no idea what they were doing until it became pretty apparent that it was about time travel, just from what I was seeing rather than what I was hearing. So it's always interesting. Yeah, so always interesting. to see how they write stuff. Sorry. Let's see. Peter Estrada says they are running ads in Oz during a live stream. Yeah, at least giving you your cut ruins the entire flow and the show. Just tell them to stop. They're running ads on a live stream. Seriously, that's weird. I didn't think they did that. How does that work on a live stream? Because that just means, is everyone getting the ads at the same time, or is it is it staggered? Is it different for people? Because that means people are going to be like, not. It's you're not all going to be in. What am I trying to say? You know, you're all going to be watching it at different times, basically, aren't you? Some people are going to be like a minute behind, 2 minutes behind. That's stupid. I don't know if there is a setting to. It could just be because my channel's monetized, so it does it automatically. I don't know. I'll have to have a look. I'm sorry about that. I hope it's not being too distracting. But yeah, that's irritating. Yeah, that's annoying. Muris says, I've been recently reading Moonday Letters by Emmy Itaranta. It has very similar storyline to All Tomorrows, where Mars colonies become self-sufficient and there is some tension between the planets. Yeah, that's I mean, that's kind of a relatively common thing in interplanetary sci-fi. I think that's sort of the thing in The Expanse as well, is tensions between Martian colonists and Earth and stuff like that. So it's kind of a thing that you see, you know, semi-regularly, but it's quite cool, you know, because it's always written in different ways. I've never heard of Moonday Letters, though. Moonday Letters, that's interesting. I'll have to check that one out. I'll have to make a note of that. They do it all the time, do they, Peter? The ads. Yeah, that's. I just didn't think they did it on live streams. That's irritating. Oscar says he's not getting any though. Contingency saw one at the start of the live stream, none of them during it though. I mean, if you're going to have ads on it, that's the way to do it. It's just maybe one at the start, one at the end. You know, I can understand it during videos, but in a live stream where it's supposed to be people all, you know, you're all joining in on one thing, it's stupid to have ads, you know. Yeah, again, I apologise in advance to anybody who does get them. Hopefully it's doesn't ruin the experience for you too much. It's making me a little bit nervous, to be honest, but hopefully it's not going to happen too much more. Yeah, so who's read or watched The Expanse? I was just talking about it just then and it reminded me of it. I started watching some of it a while ago, but I couldn't really. I struggled to get into it, to be honest. But apparently the books are supposed to be really, really good, or at least some of them are. Then the quality dips a bit from book 5 or something, and then it gets good again in book 7. So I don't know if anybody's read The Expanse or any of the Expanse books, or watched the show in its entirety. Like I said, I started watching it. I probably got about 4 episodes in. And this was quite a few years ago, because I'd heard it was really good, but I struggled with it, to be honest. Not struggled with it, but just had a difficult time getting into it. So, has anyone out there seen it? Let me know what you think. Should I give it another try? Yeah, Contingency, you've heard good things about it, but to be honest, I don't care about it, man. Sorry, more of a culture series. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy guy. Ah, I see, right. Again, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I mean, I'm British, and it's a British thing, Hitchhiker's Guide. So it's kind of unforgivable that I've not really read because there's a film. I think it's a newer film, isn't it, that came out. But it's a series of books. Never read any of them. I probably should, to be honest. Sort of a slightly more comedic. Comedic kind of thing. Not a comedy necessarily, but bit more on the light-hearted side than a lot of other stuff. I'm a Red Dwarf guy. What about Red Dwarf Contingency? Have you ever seen that? That's my jam. That is my all-time favourite sci-fi show. Even though it's a sitcom, it's Red Dwarf for me. Seasons 3 to 6 are absolute perfection. Just brilliant. You know, some of the best comedy writing you'll ever find, in my opinion. I really like series 1 and 2 as well. And then obviously 7 and 8 are good in their own way. And then I do like the newer ones as well, you know, 10, 11, 12, and the film. Because it's good to just see them back again, even though the quality isn't quite, you know, up to scratch, as good as how it was. It's still great. I don't know. Apparently, they were supposed to be making some more, but I don't know if they are going to be doing that now. I mean, they're all the cast are pushing 70, so it's probably just a case of them being too tired to do it. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Dale Snyder says, if the space mining industry for platinum relies on an artificially bloated electronics industry, DVD players, dependent on outdated tech for a stable population, could there still be other reasons too? Other reasons for space mining, you mean? Yeah, the thing is, there has to be it has to make financial sense to do it, to go to space. That's kind of we talked before about my thing that I'm writing, my Spec Evo project called The Telescope, and basically the reason people have tried to go to space, it is set in the 2500s, and for all that time people have been trying to get to space and colonize planets, and they just can't, mostly due to the bland sort of monetary constraints. It just never ever makes financial sense to go to space and colonize worlds and mine for resources in space. They just can't make it work on the financial side, you know. Kind of I was just going for realism there, really, with that aspect of the story. But you know, they can't make it happen. But yeah, you know, if there's no proper, real, you know, good reason to do it, and if it doesn't make sense financially, then there's not really a reason to do it. Aside from, unless you get a billionaire who, I mean, Elon Musk, is he that guy who is just doing it to do it? Maybe. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because that's the reason people like Sir Edmund Hillary in the past would climb, I believe it was Everest he climbed. I hope I've got the right mountain there, but yeah, that, you know, I think he was asked why he did it. I think it was him, and he said because it's there. So space is there, and I think going there because it's there is a worthy enough reason. You know, I don't think everything has to have a utilitarian, oh well, you know, it's for resources, it's for this, it's for that, it's to, you know, make us rich, basically. I don't think that has to be the reason to do it. I think, you know, it being there, that justifies going there, really. I mean, like, it's when you say go to space, that's like, it's kind of been done, been to the moon, you know, unless you believe we haven't been to the moon. I think we have. But going to space isn't a place, it's the, you know, the expanse, it's the stuff in space that we want to go to. Sorry, I'm rambling a bit, I'm just trying to organise my thoughts. But yeah, I do think, you know, it's like, you know, not everything has to have a point, if that makes sense. You know, a lot of things, like when things have been made, like when sculptures are made or paintings are painted, I think you know, beauty, it justifies itself by its existence. It doesn't have to have a utilitarian purpose. And I feel the same way about going to space. It doesn't have to be a utilitarian purpose for that. It doesn't have to be for a specific reason other than it's there. And I think we should go just for that. Excuse me. So I think what we need is somebody mega, mega rich who's not bothered about getting anything out of it except going there and doing it. So we can say it's been done. I think that's good enough reason, personally. So I'm just going to have a drink, a bit of a dry throat. I'm back. Right. Dale Snyder, put orbital station in Kuiper Belt. If it can be done, we should do it. First name, last name. I think the ad is a one-time thing. By the way, I've only read biology books so far. Could you recommend a book for me? I love your covering of All Tomorrows. Yeah, so if you want something in a similar vein, there's Man After Man by Dougal Dixon. There's After Man, also by Dougal Dixon. And there's Expedition by Wayne Barlow, which is more aliens. It's xenobiology rather than concerning human beings like Man After Man and All Tomorrows. Those would be my three recommendations. I mean, I think of, when it comes to Spec Evo, I think of the big three as being All Tomorrows, Man After Man, and Expedition. That's not like a general consensus or anything, that's just my opinion. But the thing is, Man After Man is quite difficult to get hold of. I mean, I managed, by pure luck, to find a copy on eBay, and it was relatively inexpensive. Generally, you're looking at a few, forking out a few hundred. I don't know where you are in the world, but it'd be a few $100s, a few £100 normally. I managed to get mine for about £60, I think, because the person it was like a charity shop that was selling it, and I don't know why they had it listed for so cheap, but they did. So I took the opportunity and I got it, and I'm glad that I've got it. But it's hard to get hold of. So I guess I would recommend Afterman, which they've done set like a second edition. So that's relatively easy to get hold of. And the same with Expedition, that's not too difficult to find either. So those are my two recommendations, if you haven't already read them. Trying to think if there's any others that are in book form. I mean, there's plenty of stuff on YouTube, like people's own projects and things like that. If you are looking for books, though, those would be the ones that I would recommend personally. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of any others. But, yeah. Afterman by Dougal Dixon. Expedition by Wayne Barlow. Yeah. Contingency says, so just sit on Earth, get info from the air, but because we want to see the stars, you build the telescope. Yes, pretty much. Yeah, that's what it is. This is my story, the telescope, by the way. And the way it is, it's called a telescope, but it's more like a mind projection, because we've got this technology called the air, and it's wrapped itself around every single molecule on the planet, sort of like a nanotechnology type thing. But that means everything's connected, for better or worse. We'll get into in the story the downsides of that and stuff. We can't get to space in the story. It's just not possible. But we've built the technology to basically, our minds can link with the telescope, and the telescope projects our mind's eye to wherever we want to go. You can just sort of look around, choose a planet, zoom in on it. But the thing is, because it's so far away, so you've got light coming from stars, but the stars are so far away that light has only just reached us, and a lot of those stars no longer exist, and planets as well. That's the thing. The things you observe are all things that have been gone for millions and millions and millions of years, depending on how far away this celestial body is from Earth. So that's kind of the melancholy sort of thing that, you know, that looms over it the whole time, is you can't see what's there now. You can only see the things from the past. You're looking at the ghosts of aliens, basically, because the light, you know, you're zooming in on the light by using the telescope, basically. It makes more sense in the book. I'm not explaining it very well, but yeah, we have to stay on Earth and just observe all this stuff. Dale says, McDonald's restaurant franchise opportunity, refuel depot prior to leaving Martian orbit for Earth return. You're not suggesting we have McDonald's in space. We've got McDonald's everywhere. You know, that's like in Fight Club, isn't it, where he's giving a little narration at the start. In the future, you're going to have like the Starbucks nebula, or the McDonald's planet, because everything's going to be owned by the corporations in the future. I really hope not. I don't want McDonald's in space. I want less McDonald's around in general, to be honest. Wayland Yutani, ExxonMobil. Yeah. All those guys. Well, Wayland Yutani's is fictional, but we'll have something similar in the future. Muris says, I have the Afterman 40th edition on my shelf. I wish they did the same kind of reprint of Man After Man. Yeah, that's the edition I've got as well, I think, the 40th edition. They probably won't reprint Man After Man because Dougal Dixon's basically disowned it. He really doesn't like that book, and he never talks about it. He talks about his other stuff, but I think he's a bit... I mean, a lot of the problems with it were down to the publisher meddling in it. He wanted to go a certain way with it, but they were saying, no, do this, do that. We want weird looking people in it, basically. And it ruined the book for him. I've got my problems with the book, but I do consider it an extremely important piece of work in the genre. It's necessary, it's needed, but he really doesn't like it, so that's probably what's preventing another. I know technically the book is the publisher's property and not his. I think that's how it works. When you have your book published by a publishing house, it's not yours anymore, really. You don't get the rights to it. But I don't know, maybe he's putting pressure on them not to release it, or maybe it didn't sell that well when it first came out, so they think, well, there's no point in printing a new edition of it. It's a shame. I wish they would, because I think now, certainly within the last few years, like since I started my channel, Spec Evo's had a big resurgence. So I think a Man After Man book probably would sell quite well now. When I said that before, I don't mean I was responsible for the resurgence, by the way. My channel is a result of that resurgence. But I hope one day they do a reprint of Man After Man. That would be cool, because I want everybody who wants to get it to be able to get it and not have to pay like $400 or pounds or whatever to get it. That's just for a book. How do you get off on charging that for a book? That's ridiculous. That's just nobody's gonna pay that, surely. You're just making it so you're never gonna sell it if you've got one and you're trying to sell it for that much. Maybe you will. There might be some die-hard collectors who just happen to have a lot of money who will pay that. But in my mind, even if I was rich, I don't think I would pay £400 for a book, no matter what book it was. I wouldn't pay 400 quid for an original copy of the Bible, let alone Man After Man. So, I don't see why they think they're going to be able to sell it. But anyway, mine was about 60, and even that I was still like, even though it was like the opportunity that was only going to come along once in a lifetime, maybe, I don't know, once in a blue moon, I was still like, yeah, should I? Eventually I did. I took the plunge, but 60 was still quite high for what is just a book. So, but I do hope that they reprint it at some point, because then everyone that wants it can get it. First name, last name says, thank you for the recommendations. I will make sure to at least get one of those 3. Yeah, definitely do. Like I said, those Afterman and Expedition are pretty easy to come by, and they're not that expensive really, and they're really, really good as well. I mean, Expedition is probably my favourite Spec Evo book, to be honest. I mean, I know my channel was based on All Tomorrows, and I've got obviously a lot of love and respect for that book, but my personal favourite Spec Evo book is probably Expedition by Wayne Barlow. You know, I really, you know, that one's just, it's the artwork for me that makes it. That is just a personal preference thing, really. Oh, you know what? If you don't mind one that doesn't have illustrations, another recommendation would be Last and First Men by Olaf Stapledon. I was doing readings of that book at the end of each stream, but I noticed when I was doing that in my analytics, the viewers would just drop off a cliff, basically, and I was losing people. It was signalling the wrong thing to the algorithm on YouTube, so I've had to stop doing it, sadly, which is a shame, because we were just getting into it. But hey-ho, if you want another one, Last and First Men by Olaf Stapledon. It doesn't have illustrations, though. It is just a novel. But, you know, really interesting. And it was the main inspiration for All Tomorrows, I believe. So, yeah, check that one out as well. Let's see. Where am I? Alright, Dale Snyder. Dead Space Lore, Colour Out of Space. Right. I mean, yeah, Dead Space Lore is interesting. I actually, there's another YouTuber who I like a lot, and I was actually on a Dead Space video of his. This was a while ago. This was when the remastered Dead Space came out. Probably, when was that? A year ago, 2 years ago. But yeah, he asked if I wanted to do a little guest narration segment on a Dead Space video of every type of alien in Dead Space. So I was on that video. The channel, if I didn't mention it before, is called Infinity Sci-Fi. So yeah, go and check that channel out, Infinity Sci-Fi. I was on his Dead Space video. So I do like Dead Space. I played the first Dead Space all the way back in 2008 when I had my Xbox 360. Yeah, it scared the bejesus out of me, because I'm, you know, a bit easily scared. I can't play the Resident Evil games, they scare me too much, and Dead Space did. I mean, I played it for quite a while, but yeah. The curse of having anxiety, I guess, is you end up being quite on edge playing survival horror games. It's one of the lesser talked about symptoms. First name, last name, I don't have McDonald's. You don't have McDonald's? I think you're lucky, to be honest. It's not all it's cracked up to be. I mean, I have it every so often, you know, like everybody who says, oh, no, McDonald's. I still eat it every so often. I do like a Big Mac on occasion. But the thing is, it's so unhealthy. It's so bad for you. And they're absolutely everywhere. And they're just choking the life out of people who want to start their own independent restaurants. You know, somebody wants to start their own burger joint these days, forget about it. You're not going to do it if you've got a McDonald's in your town. And pretty much every town, I mean here, certainly in America, you probably got 3 McDonald's in every town in America. But here, there's one in pretty much every town now, and it's kind of I don't know. It creates jobs and stuff, but the long-term effects. Yeah, anyway, I won't bore you with all that. I have my opinions on McDonald's, even though I still eat there occasionally, so I'm a complete hypocrite. I'm well aware of that. But, yeah, you're not really missing out by not having McDonald's, to be honest. Ian says, I have Last and First Men being delivered later this week. Cool. I'm going to read the flip out of it. Oh, okay. I'm going to read the flip out of it. It's going to be great in my collection. Cool, nice, yeah. I've still not read all of it. Yeah, that's cool. Definitely needs to be read if you're into this this whole thing, this whole Spec Evo scene that we're all into. It's required reading, really. And again, me being a hypocrite, again, I haven't read all of it, but you know, it's cool that you're getting it and that you're going to read it. Muris says it's unfortunate since I like the way Man After Man is written way more. Yeah, it's well written, but not easy to read. I tell you, the amount of times I had to stop and take a deep lungful of air again because Dougal Dixon doesn't seem to like using full stops. So I was getting out of breath trying to read these entire paragraphs. And yeah, it's nicely written. Not excuse me, nicely written. Hard to read, but luckily most people aren't going to be reading it out loud. So that's just that's a me problem rather than the Man After Man problem. But yeah, no, it is unfortunate, like you say, that it's not being reprinted. It should be. It should be. I think there would be an audience for it now. You know, plenty of people enjoy Spec Evo. I mean, you look at the amount of subscribers that channels like Curious Archive, Thought Potato, you know, I mean, Curious Archive has over 1 million subscribers, and I think Thought Potato is somewhere in the region of, is it like 400,000 or something like that? You know, way more than me. I'm the small fry of the bunch. They're the big dogs, the big sharks. But you see how many subscribers they've got. That's a potential audience for Man After Man. I believe they've both made videos about Man After Man as well. So, you know, it's I mean, it'd be weird if they hadn't, to be honest, given the types of channels that they are. So I think there would be an audience for it. Yeah, it's a shame they don't reprint it. Muris also says, I've paid €100 for a comic set, but that's my limit. I think I would be happy to pay the same 100 for Man After Man, but can't justify the current prices. Yeah, exactly. €100, I'm not sure what that is in my currency. It's probably around the sort of £80 mark. So if it came, like mine came up on eBay, if it was like 63 or something like that, British pounds, and I was umming and ahhing quite a lot before I eventually decided, screw it, I'm going to buy it. If it came up for 80 or 100, I may have still considered it. 100 may have been pushing it, to be honest. I don't know if I would have gone that far. But you know, it's what you're happy paying, isn't it? Really? Yeah, but yeah, it is hard to justify spending what it's currently going for. I've not looked. I mean, because I've got one now, so I've not been looking at its current price, what it's going for. But yeah, hopefully you can find an affordable one before too long. Contingency says, don't make an audiobook on Expedition though, lest Wayne Barlow's estate comes knocking. That's why I haven't done it. Yeah, I mean, I've had others, like I've had Ray Bradbury's estate send me a very threatening email before because I recorded a couple of his short stories on my channel. You know, it's crazy. Like, I looked at the analytics for what those had made. This was like, I don't know, a year after I'd uploaded them, and I think in total, because they didn't get many views, I probably made like nearly £50 on each of them. So they were sending a real threatening, you know, each video probably had like 2,500 views each, and they were and they sent a real snotty, nasty worded email about, oh yeah, we'll you know, court proceedings are going to be started and stuff like that. I was like, I'll just take the videos down. It's not worth it. You know, they'd made a tiny bit of money, and they weren't making any money anymore. So I just took them down. But yeah, it's same happened with Harlan Ellison's estate as well, because I used to on the channel, I had a recording of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. And again, I mean, he was like big time litigious when he was alive, and it seems his estate are carrying on the tradition. Uh, so yeah, again, I got a very unpleasant email from them with various threats and you know, so I was okay, I'll just take it down again. So yeah, I've heard Wayne Barlow's estate is you know, they do things in a similar way. So I've not even made any species profile videos on that or anything because I mean that would probably be safe, but just that experience, well, that potential experience, the experience I've had with Ray Bradbury and Harlan Ellison's one, and hearing that Wayne Barlow's is very similar, just soured me on doing anything expedition wise, to be honest. It's a shame. You know, I don't know why they can't get with the times. It's not 1995 anymore, where, you know, if you show something on a TV, you get sued in court and stuff like that. It's not like that anymore. It's the age of YouTube and stuff. Like, everyone's making videos about everything. Why can't they just be like, oh, okay, this harmless little video by this harmless little YouTuber with his 70,000 views or whatever I've got. We'll just let him make a video. A few thousand people will see it. They might buy our book. You know, that makes sense to me, but it doesn't seem to. Maybe they're just old. You know, bunch of boomers. I don't like ragging on boomers. Usually, I think it's low-hanging fruit, and people do it a lot of the time, unjustifiably. But in this case, it's very much an okay boomer type of thing. I think I need to get with the times. You know, that's just what I think. My little lady always wants us to go and eat McDonald's, and it shows. I hope she's not watching this stream and she's seen you say that. Curious Contingency says Curious has actually moved on from Spec Evo, and I'll be honest, it was for the better, since he does make some pretty good non-Spec Evo content. Yeah, I mean, you can't. That's why I've tried to. You know, I moved on from All Tomorrows after a while, because after a while you just feel like you're spinning your wheels in place and things get stale. You know, although it's kind of been people still expect me to make All Tomorrows stuff, even though I don't really want to anymore, because I feel like I've done everything I can do about it. I've said everything I can say. You know, plus the new version should be coming out at some point, so anything I say will probably be outdated before too long anyway. But yeah, it's good that he's sort of moved on and he's found new stuff to make videos about. I mean, he's I check him out from time to time, but yeah, you know, you can't just do the same thing forever. Dale Snyder says Salem's Lot. Never see it. Is that Stephen King? Never read it or seen it. Muriel says Man After Man seems to go for around €200 today, so it's come down a little bit. Surprisingly, the prices have come down. I remember them going for almost double of that since I've been eyeing one for years. Maybe you just got to play the waiting game there. Then in another year or two, it might be down to €100. You never know. Then you might be able to finally get one. You know, it's it really. I wonder what it was. I wonder if it was the surge in popularity of All Tomorrows that got these guys who have a copy of Man After Man to sell. Was it that made them think, I'm gonna, you know, a lot of people probably want this book now because it's sort of similar to that one that's really popular. I'm gonna charge $400 for it. I just don't really get why it went to such a. I mean, I know it's rare. It's a rare book, but it's just strange to me how it ended up on that. How they arrived at that number, because they were all about the same when I was looking. They were all around the 400 mark. So how did they arrive at 400? I don't know. It's weird. Oscar says, no, she won't know. She only reached my chin. She can still beat me. It's a good job she's not seeing your comments then. Alright. We've been going for just over an hour. I might wrap it up soon. Seems like things are winding down a little bit, so but you know, it's been a good stream. Thank you for the super chat, Oscar. I really appreciate that. It's good to have everyone here as well again. Some familiar faces, a couple of new ones as well, and Muris managed to come back as well, which is cool. It's good to see you again. Yeah, it's been an interesting stream. Interesting stream. Bit of everything covered, which is cool. It's just the way it's going to be from now on, I think, because when I have a hard topic that I have to stick to, I find it hard to stick to it, and I find that a bit too stressful. I just like to just ramble on about all different kinds of things and just answer questions and stuff, and just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Really, it's not. There's no hard and fast rule about how these things have to go, is there? But yeah, no, it was cool having you all back. It's a good stream. Yeah, I think we'll. I'll give it another minute. If there's any last minute questions or comments or anything, now would be the time to get them in, if you want to. But if not, then yeah, I'll say cheerio, and I'll let you know if there's going to be another stream Monday next week. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this one, but it turned out the evening was freed up, so I was able to do it. But I might not be doing one next Monday, but I might still be doing it. I'll keep you updated, and in the interim, I'll let you know. Life might be a movie if not seen it. Okay. Contingency question, progress update on the telescope. Yeah, I'm asking again, it's getting repetitive. Yeah, no worries. I'm just flattered that someone's actually interested in it. Progress update, yeah, pretty much the same as last week. Still working on concepts for new planets. I've got the ocean planet nailed down. The first one anyone gets to and anyone sees life on, albeit it's life that doesn't exist anymore because it's so far away. But yeah, just coming up with planets. I want to have a mix of really, really alien stuff that just you don't see anything like it on Earth, but also some more recognisable things as well, things that resemble what we have on Earth. So it's all about coming up with concepts and that yet. So no, I haven't got a new chapter written since last week or anything like that, I'm afraid. But you know, it's balancing that with writing the videos, editing the videos, all that stuff, and all the real life stuff as well. So progress is slow. It's happening, but at a bit of a snail's pace at the moment. But I will keep you updated on any major developments. First name, last name says, I love these live videos. I like your views on things. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, it's nice to have you. I like doing these live streams because you can just do the stream of consciousness. I think that's the term. Just say whatever you want to say. And yeah, no, it's cool. It's a very freeing format, really. And yeah, just my views are my views. You know, they're probably not particularly original or groundbreaking or anything, but you know, it's just what I think about stuff. Oscar Life 2017. Oh, you mean the film Life? Yeah, the Jake Gyllenhaal. I think Ryan Reynolds is in this as well. That's good actually. Yeah. I'm reluctant to talk about the endings of films because I don't want to spoil it. If anyone sees it and they're like, "Oh, that looks good," but then I just blab the ending, then it just kind of ruins it for people. That's what it's hard to find. Like in my videos that I'm doing recently, I'm talking about a range of different films, but I'm always wondering, should I reveal this about this film? This quite far into the film, does that count as a spoiler? And yeah, it's a bit of a balancing act, really. But the ending of Life was, I respect films that don't have a happy ending. Let's put it that way. Like Upgrade. That's one of talked about quite a bit recently in recent videos. No happy ending there. I won't reveal anything else. But Life, yeah, that's... I do have a lot of respect for films that have the balls to not... Because a lot of the time I think the studios just... they insist that the film has a somewhat happy ending because that's what most audiences want. Audiences are surprisingly freaked out by films that don't wrap things up nicely and neatly at the end. They want a beginning, a middle, and an end, or a nice end. But I'm always surprised and happy, and I respect a film a lot more when it has the cojones to not have not go the easy route, the happy ending route, and that's why I like Life. Yeah, that's a good film. Dale says, would the Q use Godzilla as a lamp or a houseplant? Either one. Probably both. They'd probably split him in half and use him for both. Or just clone him a bunch of times and make each one into a different thing. They can do literally anything. Anything. You imagine it, they can do it. Too few dares to go that way. Yeah, that's right. Not enough films. I mean, some films do it. It's not totally unheard of. But yeah, when they do go that route, it's not the easy route to take, and it takes you know, I can imagine there's a lot of pressure on the filmmakers to, when they show like test audiences or show the executives, and it doesn't have the nice ending, the good ending, the uplifting one, that they encounter a lot of pressure to change it. And I think a lot of them end up caving and rewriting it and reshooting it to something more palatable to the wider audience. But yeah, no, that not many of them do dare to go that route, and I always respect them for doing it, because that is the hard thing to do. Contingency says there was a found footage movie about a kaiju attack that had a bad ending. I can't remember its name though. Found footage. Was it what's it called? I think I might know what you're talking about actually. I think it may have had quite a sort of generic sounding name as well. Was it like Monster or something? No, it wasn't Monster. What was it? I think I know which film you mean though. I think I know which one you're talking about. But yeah, Cloverfield. Did Cloverfield have a bad ending though? That's been years since I watched that. I can't really remember the ending. That was a found footage kaiju film. But yeah, no, I do believe I know what film you're talking about, but I can't remember its name. Dale Snyder, does outer space exist in the Hollow Earth? I'd imagine so, because the Hollow Earth is just the Earth. So the outer space exists outside of the Earth, unless I'm missing something. Yeah. Anyway, yep. If there's any last minute questions, get them in now. If not, I'll end it there. But yeah, it's been a good stream. I've enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll be able to do one next week. I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated on that. But if not, I'll also keep you in the loop on that too. So yeah, cool. Right, thanks for watching everyone. Take it easy, have a good week. My new video will be out on Friday. It's about the pros and cons of each different kind of dystopia, and which one would you rather live in. So an interesting sort of thought exercise on that one, as well as weighing up the good and bad points of living in a nuclear wasteland, or the cyberpunk world, or a biopunk world. It's kind of taken inspiration from that stream I did a few weeks ago where I was ranking the punks, the genres, cyberpunk, steampunk, biopunk. Steampunk isn't in this video, but I've kind of refined that a little bit and made it into a video, so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm working on this week. So Alright. Thanks everyone. Take care. Have a good week. See you on Friday for the new video. And then hopefully on Monday for the next stream. So, yeah. Take it easy. Cheers, guys. Take care.